Hello, everybody, and welcome back to my channel from past to present. This week we are going to be doing a book review of Slavery at Sea, Terror, Sex, and Sickness in the Middle Passage by Sowande M. Mustakeem, which is a compelling exploration into the harrowing experiences of enslaved women during the transatlantic slave trade. And in this video, we will delve into the author's main arguments, the evidence utilized to support it, and its significance in expanding our own understanding of women's history prior to 1875. So, without further ado, let's jump into it. Sowande Mustakeem is an accomplished historian whose work primarily focuses on the experiences of enslaved Africans in the Americas, particularly examining the various forms of violence they endured and the strategies that they employed to survive and resist. While I don't have any specific details about her backstory, I can tell you about her academic journey and some highlights in her work. After earning her PhD in African Diaspora Studies from the University of California, Berkeley, she has since become recognized for her groundbreaking research, which sheds light on often overlooked aspects of slavery, such as the ways in which the enslaved individuals navigated and resisted brutal conditions of their enslavement. One of her works, what we are analyzing today, Slavery at Sea, Terror, Sex, and Sickness in the Middle Passage, examines harrowing experiences of enslaved Africans during the transatlantic slave trade. In this book, she delves into the extreme violence and exploitation that occurred aboard these slave ships, as well as the profound physical and psychological toll it took on those who survived that journey. Through meticulous archival research, Mustakeem provides a vivid and compelling account of this dark chapter in history, which offers new insights into the lived experiences of enslaved people. Mustakeem's work has earned her widespread acclaim in the academic community, and she has been considered a leading authority on the history of slaveries in the Americas. Her research not only contributes to our understanding of the past, but also underscores the resilience and agency of enslaved individuals in the face of unimaginable suffering. Mustakeem's central argument revolves around the dehumanization and multifaceted oppression experienced by enslaved women throughout the Middle Passage. She contends that these women not only endured the physical brutality of the voyage, but also faced the pervasive threat of sexual violence, psychological trauma, and the commodification of their bodies. Mustakeem argues that understanding these unique struggles experienced by these enslaved women is crucial for comprehending the full extent of the atrocities committed during this period. The main argument presented by the author is multifaceted and very deeply layered. Mustakeem argues that the experiences of enslaved women during this time were characterized by the complex interplay of terror, sexual violence, and sickness, all of which were integral components of their dehumanization and commodification. Firstly, Mustakeem delves into the pervasive terror that engulfed the Middle Passage, emphasizing the brutal conditions endured by enslaved women aboard these ships. She vividly depicts the overcrowded, unsanitary, and unhospitable environments in which these women were confined for weeks or even months. Throughout meticulous analysis of the ship's logs and survivors' testimonies, Mustakeem exposes the physical and psychological toll of the voyage, highlighting the constant threat of violence, starvation, death, all of which loomed over the enslaved women. Furthermore, Mustakeem examines the insidious prevalence of sexual violence as a tool of oppression during the Middle Passage. Enslaved women were subjected to the predatory advances of crew members and fellow captives, their bodies commodified and exploited for the sexual gratification of others. Mustakeem reveals how the intersection of race and gender rendered enslaved women particularly vulnerable to sexual exploitation. Within their agency, bodily autonomy was systematically denied. Additionally, Mustakeem explores the devastating impact that sickness and disease had aboard these vessels. The cramped and unsanitary conditions aboard slave ships facilitated the spread of deadly disease such as dysentery, smallpox, and cholera, claiming countless lives. Mustakeem underscores the callous indifference of the slave traders and the ship captains towards the health and well-being of the enslaved women, viewing them as disposable commodities whose suffering was inconsequential. In essence, Mustakeem's argument illuminates the interconnected nature of terror, sexual violence, and sickness in shaping the experiences of enslaved women during the transatlantic slave trade. By foregrounding these voices and experiences of these women, Mustakeem challenges traditional narratives that have marginalized their contributions and struggles. Throughout her nuanced analysis, she reveals the resiliency and agency of the enslaved women in navigating the horrors of the Middle Passage, underscoring the importance of centering their stories within a broader historical discourse. In order to support her argument, Mustakeem draws upon a diverse array of sources, including slave narratives, ship's logs, legal documents, and contemporary accounts. Through meticulous archival research, she reconstructs the lived experiences of these enslaved women, shedding light on their resilience in the face of the unimaginable suffering. Mustakeem's incorporation of the first-person testimonies adds a poignant and humanizing dimension within her analysis, which allows readers to empathize with the individual stories of these women. The author's main argument is undeniable and convincing due to the wealth of evidence marshaled in its support. By examining multiple layers of oppression faced by these enslaved women, ranging from physical abuse to the erasure of their voices, Mustakeem presents a nuanced and comprehensive portrayal of their experiences. Moreover, her disciplinary approach, which combines insights from history, gender studies, and African diaspora studies, enriches the depth of her analysis and lends credibility to her conclusions. Mustakeem is able to use archival records to garner support for her argument, and these include ship's logs, captain's journals, and merchant records, and this is able to help reconstruct the conditions aboard these slave ships. And these primary sources provide invaluable insights into the day-to-day realities of the Middle Passage, documenting the overcrowded and unsanitary living conditions endured by these enslaved women, as well as the prevalence of sickness and mortality aboard these ships. Mustakeem also incorporates first-hand accounts from enslaved individuals who survived the Middle Passage, offering poignant glimpses into their experiences. These narratives provide a humanizing perspective onto the horrors of the voyage, allowing the readers, aka me and you, to empathize with the suffering and the resilience of these women. She also examines legal documents such as court records, ship manifests, abolitionist petitions, in order to uncover the instances of sexual violence and exploitation on these ships. And these documents offer corroborating evidence of the systematic abuse suffered by these women and the complacency of ship captains and crew members in perpetrating these atrocities. Mustakeem contextualizes her analysis with contemporary accounts from abolitionist literature, travelogues, and missionary reports. These sources are able to provide additional perspectives on the Middle Passage, which shed light on the moral outrage and humanitarian concerns aroused by the transatlantic slave trade. Mustakeem also draws insights from multiple disciplines, including history, gender studies, and African diaspora studies, to enrich her analysis. By engaging with theoretical frameworks such as intersectionality and post-colonialism, she offers a nuanced understanding of the intersectioning oppressions faced by enslaved women and their agency in resisting their dehumanization. Overall, Mustakeem's judicious use of evidence allows her to construct a compelling narrative that not only elucidates the experiences of enslaved women during the transatlantic slave trade, but also challenges prevailing historical narratives and expands upon our own understanding of women's history prior to 1875. Her interdisciplinary approach and rigorous research methodology serve to underscore the significance of centering the voices and experiences of marginalized individuals within historical scholarship. Slavery at sea significantly contributes to our understanding of women's history prior to 1875 by foregrounding the experiences of enslaved women within the broader narrative of the transatlantic slave trade. By centering their voices and agency, Mustakeem challenges the traditional male-centric perspectives that have dominated previous historical discourse. Moreover, her emphasis on the intersecting oppressions of race, gender, and class highlights the complex and interconnected nature of women's experiences during this period. Furthermore, Mustakeem focuses on the Middle Passage, disrupts in the prevailing notion of slavery as a primarily land-based institution by highlighting the crucial role of the maritime transport in perpetuating the slave trade. By illuminating the overlooked contributions and struggles of enslaved women in sustaining this brutal system, Slavery at Sea fills a significant gap in our understanding of women's history and underscores the importance of incorporating a diverse perspectives into historical scholarship. In conclusion, Slavery at Sea, Terror, Sex, and Sickness in the Middle Passage offers a compelling and meticulously researched account of the experiences of enslaved women during the transatlantic slave trade. Through her nuanced analysis and interdisciplinary approach, Sowande M. Mustakeem not only sheds light onto the horrors endured by these women, but also challenges the prevailing historical narratives and expands our understanding of women's history. Her work serves as a powerful testament to the resilience and agency of enslaved women in the face of systematic oppression, ensuring that their voices are not forgotten in the annals of history. And I hope you guys enjoyed this week's video. If so, I will see you guys next time. I hope you guys have a great rest of your day. Okay, peace.